Welcome to the 4th edition of Dead by Daylight Mobile Adventures. Yeah, I'm really close to pulling the plug on this series. Not because I don't like recording the videos or speaking over them, but just a combination of players that are very dumb, teammates, who are very useless as well. And I just think a lot of times when there are games that don't go my way, that's a big part of it. Now, I wanted to use the 4th installment to highlight a player I really like, Orange Juice, who is the third person from that corner. It's Juice with a V instead of a U. They were one of the first people that accepted my friend request, and they just got hit, and actually played with me, which is a very rare thing to see, because a lot of people will accept friend requests and then not play with you. And this is something that kind of bothers me to a great deal, because I see friend requests as a way to try and play with someone that you enjoy playing with again. So to accept it and then not play with them ever again is kind of like antithetical to the point of getting one. And I actually am someone who, when people don't play with me after I've accepted or they've accepted my friend request, and it's been 5, 6, 7, 8 times I've tried to play with them, I unfriend them. Now, if someone doesn't log in for weeks or months, right, that's a different story. But a person who's like playing this every day and you keep sending them friend requests and they won't ever play with you, I think that's insane. And very seldom do I actually turn down requests to play with people unless I'm already in a queue with someone else. Usually I'll play with them. So I'm doing this generator, and I'm mindful of Huntress. And the thing about Huntress is she's not really fast, but in being one of the few killers that actually has a weapon that can kind of extend beyond themselves, you don't have to be directly next to that person and get hit by it, referring to the hatchet, she can be very dangerous. So she knocks down this person who was actually part of the group, the spaghetti person. They were part of the same group I was in. They were invited by Orange Juice. I finished the generator, and then at the same time they finished another generator over there, which has me believing that Huntress is kind of at a crossroads, because usually when I've played as killer, when there's a generator that pops off, I'll go to look and see if anyone is over there. But if there's two at the same time, then it's kind of like a toss-up of which one I'll go to first. So I'm kind of cautiously approaching that hook. And this is when I realized that Huntress has seen me, so I need to start running. Yeah, Huntress is one of the more difficult opponents for me to loop because of that hatchet. Yeah, I was just wasting time here, because I know that if I just keep, and I got hit by it, I know if I just keep running in a straight line, I'm gonna get hit anyway. And this still gave them enough time to go rescue Spaghetti. So yeah, it wasn't the brightest move, just running back and forth in there, but it still gave enough of a distraction. I think I would have lasted a shorter amount of time if I just kept running, because then Huntress would have left the, and it's why I need my ND as well, a short range attack. It's crazy. I was expecting that both of those to hit me, first the hatchet and then that swing, but I was able to dodge 2 of them before I finally was taken down. But this is not going terribly bad, because while there have been multiple hooks at this point, there's 2 people on one generator, which is going to make it go by quicker. And there's one person who seems like they're trying to rescue me. There's actually a really bad habit of people in this game just hiding somewhere. And I was doing that a little bit earlier too, but I was trying to see if Huntress was coming to catch me, because she knew I was in that same area where that generator popped off. So Orange Juice rescues me from one friend to the other. That's always something I do when I'm playing with someone that invited me. I try to make sure they're all right. So she's signaling for me to let her heal me, which I comply with. And you see in the background that person's been taken down. One of the reasons I really like adrenaline, because as I mentioned before, when you have that move, or rather that perk, excuse me, and the last generator is done, then you get an insta heal if you're injured. You get 1 bonus health state, unless you're on the hook. So we try to do this generator. It looks a little grim because the hook is right over there, and it probably won't be that hard for Huntress to see us. We're going as good as we can. So Orange just leaves to go and try and rescue that person. And when she first moved, I thought she was getting off because she saw Huntress coming over, because that's one of the reasons I've never really been a fan of games where you can't talk to somebody else via voice, because they have to signal with these little different ways of speaking, which is one of the reasons I like when people play this game on, you know, when I played it with my brother or on Discord, you know, somewhere where you can talk to a person about what you're going to do. So again, this match is going pretty okay for us as on the Survivor side. Had multiple hooks, but also multiple generators done. Of course, I'm trying to get to another generator, and I can see a few over there thanks to one of my perks. But I'm also worried about whether I start doing one of those and then, you know, Hunter starts singing and mumbling and coming over there. Yeah, when I see those red lines across, I know she is not that far away. I don't know who is doing this generator, but I'd sure like to give them a high five and a clap because they did most of the work done. One of my favorite things when you play with people who are actually trying to win, you know, they're doing generators, is that sometimes when you get chased by a killer and run away from the generator you're on to, you know, avoid being hit by that person, you'll actually have someone else come along and try to finish the generator for you. So I try to open this. Now, the mistake I made here, I don't know how she missed that, but the mistake that I made was assuming that because this other person just got knocked down, she was going to pick that person up and then go and take them to the hook. So I make sure to run far away. I think what Huntress realized was that, yeah, she could probably keep chasing me and then eventually down me, but you already have one person on the ground, so you gotta make sure that they don't get healed by the others, and that's exactly what happened there. Now, the only time I'll ever leave somebody on the ground is if if one of the exit gates is open, because then there's a time limit to getting that person off the ground. And they're trying to leave before that exit gate goes off, because then they lose automatically. And this is where things get awful. Basically the only person I actually care about in this whole match, Orange Juice, is on the hook, and I can't rescue her because I'm injured. So I'm at a difficult crossroads. I know that Huntress is over there because I just saw that hatchet fly off on the left side of me. And that causes me to go for the save. I'm going to sacrifice myself for my friend. Yeah, by some miracle, I never save people while I'm injured. It is something I don't do at any point in the slightest. So I almost go to open this because I see that Huntress is distracted with Orange just trying to get her down again. But what I'm worried about is I try to open the gate, and then she's just going to go and attack me once more. So some other gate was open, but I don't know where it is, so I'm just going and adventuring and exploring. That's one of the worst parts about when the exit gates are first open. You get such a tiny amount of time to look and see where both of them are, and depending on what map you're on, they can be in different places, and even then they can still be, they don't have like specific places that they're on. So they just killed Orange Juice. We're all alive somehow. It's a pretty happy ending. We had a tough opponent that because people actually did generators, we were able to overcome. This match is kind of the reverse of that. So this is the match we played right after the other one. And when I decided I was going to do a spotlight of Orange Juice. Now the killer here is Nurse, who is a contentious killer. Some people say she's one of the best, some people say she's one of the worst. I know that Nurse and Plague are the two killers that are the hardest to hit with the pallet, because when you put a pallet in front of Plague, she can just keep spitting up on you, and then if you put a pallet in front of Nurse, you can just teleport through it or phase through it. So I go to do a generator, I break another one of my rules by starting on one that's relatively close. But I assume, no harm, no foul. As I'm doing this generator, I get attacked. Also, I should mention that after this match, I played this same killer, and it was the same person, Popeye, on this same stage. And that's the second time, as far as I can remember, where I've played against the exact same killer on the exact same stage back to back. And it's possibly the first time, I don't know if it was the same person in other instance, of it being the same person twice as well. So I get hit, I keep on moving. It's crazy because I remember I had one match against Nurse where I was able to dodge and stay away from her for what must have been like 5 minutes, just getting chased over and over. I think what it is because I've never played as Nurse, I don't know what specific things she does to kind of cool off, or if she has any kind of weak spot. Like, when the killer hits you, they have to recharge a little bit for their attack to go off again. I don't know what the limits of her powers are because I've never played as her. So I get put on the hook. This match is already going slightly worse than the other one. For me to get put on the hook that quickly. Also, the person second closest to my name, that Airborne Cat individual, I sent them a friend request. This match was recorded on Saturday. I sent them a friend request on Saturday after this match was over. Still, they haven't accepted it, so I'm just going to retract it. Because I forgot, if you don't have 100,000 subscribers or some YouTube celebrity, people act like you don't even matter. I always have to remind myself of that. So this generator is yellow for some reason. I know there's an explanation for it, but I forgot when it happened, but it piqued my curiosity. And I assume somebody else is working on it. So I go to this one because it's a little bit further away. I see that someone's already started on it. Now, Airborne Cat, the non-friendship wanter that they are, decides to heal me. And I'm so courteous and glad for that. Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to not be passive-aggressive about that. I mean, I guess I'd rather have one less person accept my request and not play with me, probably, than have another person accept and not play. Yeah, Orange Juice got taken down again, which is very concerning, and that's why I get off the generator. And I also do this sometimes because I know it provides a distraction for the killer, because they are not going to assume, they're more likely to focus on the person that's coming in front of them to rescue someone else than go and seek out a generator from over there. Now, I mentioned a while back that one of my things I tried to do when I play with someone on my friend list is make sure they survive, even at the expense of myself, which is why in the previous match you saw where I went to rescue Orange Juice while I was injured. Now here, I try to guard her from getting hit by Nurse because I know she's been put on the hook twice, and that's when Nurse teleports in front of me. And this is when I'm just like, all right, whatever. Because I don't even care about the match anymore, because now I know that Orange Juice is going to die. So, the wanting to win this match has really gone out the window. But I've seen that same strategy attempted by other people where if they rescue someone from the hook, which I didn't do with Orange Juice, but just as an example, they'll get in the back of the person that's injured. So if they do get hit by the killer, they're going to hit somebody that can take a hit before going down. I've seen people do this when I've played as killer, and I've done this when I've tried to save someone from a killer. And actually, one of the reasons I'm getting more and more disillusioned with this game as time goes on is because I have had multiple instances just over the past few days where I'll get put on the hook and I'll have 2-3 people that are still in the game, all fully healed, and they have the most botched rescue attempts I've ever seen. They don't get in, like right here, they don't get in front of you to protect you. It's just really bad, and I'd love to do a separate video about it. But yeah, so Airborne Cat stayed behind, and I'm assuming that they're being chased instead of me. And now I'm looking for another generator to go to. So someone's finished the generator, probably the other person. And I'm gonna go up here and try to do one. Yeah, when I see that red heartbeat, I just know something's off. And I'm even more worried because at least when one of the killers walks up here, you can, you get like a little tiny bit of time to react. But in the instance of this, Nurse can teleport up here. She can just fly through the ground. So that has me even more on edge. And an Airborne Cat is trying to get some items. People love doing that during these levels. I always get stuff from the store, the blood sports, or blood points rather. Blood sport. That's always how I acquire items. Because what I would hate to happen is I acquire an item during a match, and then I lose it because I ended up dying during it. So I always just leave it kind of up to chance, Okay, if it's in the store, I'll get it. If it's not, then I just won't have it. And see, this is so irritating because so close to finishing that generator, right? And she doesn't even notice that she's right there, as it would seem anyway. That thing was so close to popping. That's the kind of stuff that really frustrates me as a player because they go, oh, people rage quit, they get angry. But I'm at my most just irritated, right? When we've done most of the generators or all of the generators, and all we have to do is finish like 1 or 2 more tasks, and then we win the game. So, if this were, let's say, a generator we did and we still had 4 more to do, it'd just be whatever. But when it's 1 more generator and it's so close to being done, it just makes you want to tear your hair out. And this happens a lot during these games, and that's one of the reasons that I've become as incensed about playing this. But yeah, I basically am getting ready to abandon that generator because I figure Nurse has to know to some extent that we're trying to finish that thing because it's closer than going and starting a new one. And this goes back to why, I just sometimes don't know why I do the certain things I do. I'm assuming since Airborne Cat isn't over here that she's being chased by Nurse. So I'm going to go look and see if she's all right. And also do what I mentioned before, which is if you save somebody or try to save somebody, you can stay in front of them and then protect them. So at this point, Nurse enters the Hex state, which, insta-downs people. I'm opting to heal this Jane player, but they're running past me. And if I didn't have empathy for my teammates, I would have just left. And that has happened multiple times when I've been playing where I'll get put on the hook and then my teammates will have 1 more generator to do, they'll do it, and then they'll just leave. And they've done that when there's been 2 or 3 of them at full health. which is always what angers me the most, because if it's one person, whatever, but if there's two people full health and they won't save you, I think that's insane. So we make a successful rescue, and then right after I get targeted by Nurse. And again, because of the one-hit hex state thing, I can't recover. Now see, this is where if Airborne Cat had lasted a little bit longer, things could have been different. Cheryl's, the character I'm playing, one of her main perks is Soul Guard, which is when you get put in a hex state, if you're on the ground long enough, you can recover. So I can get back up if this is allowed to fill up. But because of how quickly Airborne Cat was taken out, I wouldn't have been able to do it if I was picked up by Nurse. And I didn't even need to do it because I was just helping my teammate, but I go right back down because, you know, I got assisted right in front of the killer. So if I had just not gone to save my teammate and did like a lot of other people do, where you let them, you know, die on their own, I would have won. But I guess no good deed goes unpunished.